The president and CEO of the San Diego Food Bank, Jim Floros, with an update on how they're doing and how you can help. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning to you.
Great to talk to you this morning. We've highlighted so much about what the food bank has been doing. How is the situation now with providing food for this increased need we're seeing throughout the county?
Well, I think probably in our 40-plus years of serving San Diego County, we've never been more challenged, but I'm really proud to report that I'm daily amazed at just how our organization and the level of excellence that we've developed through the years is really paying off. So we're rising to the occasion, we're adapting and overcome, and working really, really hard to make sure we can get more food out into the community for people in need.
Yeah, we're showing video of some of the early on food distribution drives that were happening. Obviously, the format in which the food is being handed out has changed a little bit. Can you talk about that shift because of what we were seeing at these drive-through food distributions? It was just overwhelming, the number of cars. Can you talk about the shift that's happened?
Yeah, we went through a couple phases. The first phase was getting as much food out to our nonprofit partners, the 500 agencies we work with. We provided about 700,000 pounds within the first 2 weeks. Then we decided to try some of the mass distribution. So we did 4 of them. We did one at the stadium, Del Mar Fairgrounds, Southwestern College, and Grossmont Center. And we learned that really you can only do 1,000 cars at a time because that's what's manageable with traffic and what have you. But unfortunately, 3,000 or 4,000 cars show up, and we found a lot of people were waiting in line, even though they knew that, it was only the first 1,000 cars, but then people were being turned away. And that really was troubling for us because everything we do and how we've always operated is about client dignity. And you make people wait in line for hours and then turn them away. That doesn't really achieve that client dignity. But one of the good things about those distributions is it did help get the word out. Did get a lot of attention, so we could really push people to our grassroots network. So we're really moving now into a third phase. We're really going to remember what brought us to the dance. We're really going to push food into our grassroots network of 200 distribution sites that are ours, plus a network of 500 nonprofit agencies, and really just push as much food as possible into the community because people can find distributions in their neighborhood, complete client dignity, get the food they need to feed their families.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking to hear about some of the families turned away in those situations. But you have over 200 distribution sites now, right? So for people at home, it's important for them to know that there's probably likely something close to them that they can reach out to if they need.
100% of those 200 distribution sites, some are monthly, some are weekly. So what we do to make it easy for people, we update our website weekly, and we will list the number of distributions that are coming up just that coming week. And so every week it's been at over 100 different sites. So SanDiegoFoodBank.org/get help. Go online. There's going to be a distribution that's near their home. They can go there, complete client dignity, and like I said, get the food that their family needs to get through the crisis.
Yeah. Jim, I wanted to ask about the food in particular and where you're getting it from. I'm sure you've seen, as we've reported, some of these farmers who have, really had to waste milk that they've produced, or, we've seen piles and piles of potatoes that have been stacked up, rotting with nowhere to go. It seems just absolutely mind-boggling and heartbreaking because, there are people out there, obviously, who need food and we're not able to get it to them. And I know food banks like yours work very hard in being able to get the food and give it to people who need it. So can you talk a little bit about where the food is coming from and some of the resources that you're reaching out to as a food bank to get food to where it needs to be?
So we, still get food donations, and then we run 2 federal programs, and we're getting a lot of product from the federal government. But to your point, there's a statewide program that helps food banks buy what they call ugly produce, stuff that's too big or too small or what have you. That is still running and fully functional. The U.S. government has really seen the fact that these producers, these farmers or what have you, don't have anywhere to send their food. So actually the federal government is moving to a program where they're going to buy that product from from the farmers, from the producers, from the ranchers, and then get that food into food boxes that'll be sent out to hunger agencies. So that is going on right now, real time. And then also, we're in contact with local growers here in San Diego County, in contact with the local farm bureau, saying, okay, if we have growers here at home in San Diego County, let's help them out. Let's promote the local economy. Let's purchase product from them. In a typical year, the food bank, we probably would do about $1 million in food purchases a year. We've put in two $1 million food orders, $2 million of food orders in the last 8 weeks. And we're already ramping up. We're already ramping up for our third one. So from what we can tell, there is food, there is product, but the supply chain is maybe a little hampered. And so sometimes there's a delay. Sometimes 4 to 6 weeks to get that product. So now we're calculating needs, projecting income, projecting orders, so we make sure we have this rolling system of food product coming in, so we can meet the community's need.
Yeah. Can you share any? I mean, you're always out there. You are boots on the ground. Your hands are involved. Can you share with us any stories that have really just touched you through this whole thing? I mean, something that's surprised you or shocked you? I mean, I'm sure you're just hearing a ton of stories from people that you've never had to deal with before.
Yeah, we're getting so many notes and letters from different people just thanking us that, they were uncomfortable asking for food. They'd never asked for food before, and literally saying that we've saved their life and that we've really helped their family. So these messages are just so heartwarming, and they really fuel us because, this is what we signed up for. I'm a career nonprofit guy. Our agency, we have 70 employees, and we have like 800 years of food banking experience on staff. So the culture and our staff are so dedicated, but still, it's nice to get a little attaboy or attagirl every once in a while. And then on the other side, we have a lot of people who are making financial contributions, and the notes and the letters that they're sending are almost as heartwarming. So it's really cool to see how a community is rallying around their local food bank to really help us get through this crisis.
Absolutely. And in case we haven't said it enough, you get a big, huge attaboy from us, because it's incredible to actually witness every day the work that you guys are doing and the need that you are meeting in our community that is suffering. A lot of people are right now. So keep up the good work, Jim, and thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, you guys have been great, and thank you so much for helping us get the word out.
Happy to